Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for clicking on the video. In this, we'll be looking at Jagged Alliance, a turn-based tactical RPG game where you're there to take over a country back from the evil dictator. What a great premise for a game. We'll go through what this game is, the pros, the cons, and some gameplay footage for you guys so you can have a look and get a better understanding before you buy of what you're getting into. Also throw in a few tips that I've learned through my 50 to 80 hours of playing the game so far. Right, the pros. If you like RPGs and you like choice, then this game definitely offers that with the different skills that you can have, ranging from abilities like agility, health, dexterity, to skills like marksmanship and mechanical and explosives. Little tip, explosives sounded that important. Actually, the game has a lot of areas where you need to booby trap places or mines, and also grenades are really powerful. And in this, if you don't have explosive high skill, most of the time you throw the grenades, they don't go where you want them to go and they don't explode, so they're absolutely useless. So you do need high explosive skill to throw grenades, and they are absolutely overpowered used in the right way, which we'll get onto stealth and ambushing later. So we have the RPG elements, but we also have a lot of flexibility how you play. So you have this country that's in different islands, and you really decide what, once you've done the tutorial mission and you've taken the first little island, you have so many different areas you can go. You meet different people, see on the map, but you can still see places that look like they have buildings or urban areas or maybe underground bunkers. So you might think, oh, I'm just going to go and look at that. And when you do, there will be some sort of story that unfolds or some special character or special items. So there is a lot of little Easter eggs hidden around, and that's part of the thrill of the game. It's like, wow, I'm going to just go where I want. I have the total freedom. At the same time, by the way, the enemy will start attacking you back. So you have to think a little bit about where you place your mercs. Maybe you want two teams as soon as you can and afford it, because it's a very big map, and you may want to go attack and get some diamond mines with one team, and you may want to go on the mission and push forward towards where the general's supposed to be, which is right at the top corner. You can find very early on. So there's many ways, and the flexibility is fun, and it keeps this game really interesting and great, and it takes me back to the good old sort of 90s and where those sort of games were coming out. What else is good? It's nostalgia. First Jagged Alliance and the second came out, so there's a bit of a nostalgia factor, and I probably brought the game a lot based on that. And number 3, challenging. This game's combat can be challenging, and it's not just the combat. As we said, you have to handle time, and there's constantly you're over time going to get attacked. You want to keep pushing forward, and every day your mercenaries you hire are costing you money, and if you take damage from challenging combat, that is more time that you need to heal, prepare, and again that's costing you because they're costing you each day. So the game in a whole can be quite challenging. However, there is some key things that can make that a lot easier. We'll talk about it later. Stealth and ambushing is the absolute fundamentals if you want to save your guys from damage, if you want to clear levels very easily. And then last but least, this game has some sort of character. It's a bit roguish, I would say, but it does have its own character, but it is very rough. Hence, with that, let's get on to the not so goods. Right, the main not so good, which I feel it's so sad. It just lets the game down, and I think it stops it becoming that sort of A, S tier game, is the combat system. Not the combat, not the game, but the system that underpins it. It is so frustrating. You will be tearing your hair out. You'll be hitting auto load more than you're reloading your guns for your mercs. So many times, not because you got yourself into a bad position. No, you had a plan, you'd done a stealth setup, you set all the guys, you set some up to be ready to overwatch and stuff. But because there is no auto portal, there's no way to order the troops or set sequential orders up, you will just try to do something simple in your head and it will muff up because you are working second by second, and the enemy will also see people and go into combat. You'll just keep replaying because you want to get that guy to do the stealth kill and then that guy to do the sniper shot. So you want to set up that first good ambush. And because there's no pause button, you will be doing it again and again out of frustration. You may have two stealthy characters, but there's no way with the system of the game of today to do two stealthy simultaneous attacks. Because let's say there's two guards, or there's a sniper up on one tower and there's a guard guarding a door. So you want one stealth guy to go take the sniper and one guy to do this. Sometimes you need it simultaneous or not. You can't do that because there is no pause button, or there is no like chain of command. You should, I think, either have the pause button or you'll be able to give a series of orders to your troops. For example, he's going on the stealth. When the stealth kill goes, fire. So there's a sequential order. Otherwise, without the pause button, it's really hard to suddenly switch between the guys in a simultaneous split second, because it has to be done in split seconds, because sometimes when these things happen, it then goes into combat and all the enemies move. So it's really, again, hard to explain unless you play the game, but once you start playing, you start to get frustrated because you're like, oh, I'm trying to stealth this, but I can't get my timing right. Like, it takes 1 second while this guy's going on stealth towards that guy. I need to ask this guy to go do that, but when I change screen to this guy, I can't see what the stealth guy's doing, etc. Or if you've left a guy somewhere and you're focusing on another team to go do something, it doesn't really give you an auto alert, maybe with a pause to say, oh, the other guy you left way back, he's been spotted by someone and the timer's ticking down before he's going to be alerted. So things like that, they're just quality of life stuff that's in most games that are like this. It doesn't have it, and I feel the system is either deliberately set to be awkward because they're trying to mimic older days, or it's just underdeveloped, and that really lets the game down. I think it makes it very frustrating, and you spend a lot of time. You have a plan in your head, you see the map, you're strategical, you think, right, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and then you're trying to microsecond manage 5-6 different guys in different parts of the map. It can't be done. It just can't be done. Also, the game doesn't explain enough in the beginning, especially around stealth and ambushing. So here's just a little tip. Stealth, there's some things that are really important. Yes, it says agility is about being seen by the enemy. It doesn't tell you if you're coming from behind, it takes less time. You cannot walk stealth someone forward generally. Number 2, dexterity is really, really important for taking stealth kills. It is one of the most biggest stats, and it doesn't explain that well. And number 3, to do a stealth kill, there's a few order of things you need to do. First, you need to have the guy in hide mode, and he has to have a melee weapon, Then you have to left click on the enemy and it will put a takedown marker like a knife above their head. You can right mouse click to improve the accuracy, and you can click where on the body. If you've played the game, you'll know why stealth and ambushing is so important, and that's the system that's kind of the less forgiving. And as I said, if you've got multiple people split out on the map, it becomes impossible to manage. And that's where I feel the game really, really, really lets it down from being a like super S plus game from a, say, B game, maybe touching into A. It has great moments, fantastic parts, but it's just a gem that hasn't been polished enough. And these are the things that will just lead the game to being frustrated. There are moments where you're really frustrated, and it's not because of the difficulty of the game, it's because of the system. Point number 2 is you will lose hours of your life in this game. This game is a time sucker. It will suck the time out of your life. And it's a great thing in a way, but it's a bad thing. I mean, I really enjoy it. I really do. But also, when I look at how long I played on, say, just one level, because of the system and that, it's just taken forever. Play the game right and do all the things I really wanted to. How many hours? And I think they could have sped that up. With most modern day games, I think in modern day life, games designers need to respect people's time and not eat it up in older. The last point, and I think this could easily be fixed, is the AI, not the enemy AI, but your allied AI is terrible. So there's another part of this game that's, again, flexibility, and it has potential for some really good tactical, strategical views, is training militia So, you know, I said you get attacked before. You could train militia. It absolutely sucks. One of them is if they get attacked and you go to help them. Two main bad things. One is militia do not group together. So you have one guy in this corner, one guy in that corner, one guy in this. But when the enemy attacks, they're in a group of 3 or 4 or 5 guys. So you have like one militia recruit, not great, against maybe 4 guys armed in machine guns. They just gun that guy down. Then they move further down the map and there's one guy, gun him down. Absolute useless. And the other thing is when you engage, the other militia that's sitting the other end of the map don't even come over. They're still just running in circles. So I feel the militia is a really good part of the game. I feel that there is a huge missed out bit is as you start taking the island, you start gaining militia. You could use them as a force to start taking the island as well. And, you know, it becomes like an army, a rebellion, rather than just a mercenaries. And I think that would be a more representation and it would be more fun. The game sort of takes another element that you learn, a new fantastic thing for you to have fun with as you grow the militia and you arm them out. They can come with you and you go in a bigger force. Maybe then the enemy scales into bigger forces as well. So I feel that they really missed out there, and I wonder if it will be patched, or I guess the modders themselves may develop on that. Thank you for your time. That just rounds it up, the good and the bad. I think, you know, there was 4 or 5 good points and it was just 2 or 3 bad points. I think the third one's easily fixed, and I think even modders might fix it. So I really think there's one main thing, the combat system. And I think if they could flesh that out, or again maybe a modder will, it would improve the quality of life and the less frustration. We want a game to be fun. Some challengingness is good as well. To have some challenge and overcome it brings a lot more feeling of greatness and fun when you do overcome it. But when you have niggly things that shouldn't be do that way, that's just frustration, and there is no fun at the end of the tunnel there. 3 quick tips to help you. Stealth and ambushing is key. With stealth, always approach from behind. Try to choose the evening. Make sure you do takedown, so you left click on the person while you're in stealth mode with a melee weapon in your hand. Mouse is a great stealth person to start off with, who's super cheap. Dexterity, agility are important. Also, strength is to a certain point because it increases damage, but you want to maybe go for crits. I'd also say snipers are brilliant, again, for the ambushing, for setting up the attacks. Grenades, super useful. So don't, like me, overlook. I only took one guy with a decent explosive skill. I would say you want at least 2 guys, maybe the guys at the front of your 2 squads. Like if you had 6 guys, try to build a squad of 5 to 6 at the beginning. Again, because then you can split into 2. Why do you want to be in 2? Flanking gives an advantage, but also, you know, the enemy will go towards the one that's doing the fire. If the other guys are in still stealth, you can maybe get a attack behind them. And if you get in stealth, you can get close, lob the grenades while the enemy are together, because obviously they will split as soon as they go into the fire mode. So those are the key tips: stealth, overwatching, and grenades. That will give you the advantage. You do that before you go into combat. Maybe you spend some time reconning to know which enemies are where as well. Anyway, thank you very much. I hope that was useful. If you haven't played the game, that gives you an idea to decide if this is a game that you want to invest in, or it's a game that maybe you want to wait and see if it gets developed and fleshed out with mods or themselves a bit more. Please leave any comments, and obviously like and subscribe. Look forward to you maybe on the next video. Ta-ta, and have a good week. Bye.